Hey, what's going on, Joe? Joe, why did I call you Joe? God, what's going on, Bill?
You call me Joe, Blow, whatever you want to call me, Arrow. You know that. I answer to anything. Hey, guy. Hey, fella. Yeah, I answer to anything. All right, man. Take it away, Fred, with Les Carroll.
Good morning, Les. How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you. I'm right down the road from Charlotte.
Yes,
near
you
Columbia.
are. Yes, you are, sir. That's why we've got that Carolina blood moving through us. And I'll tell you, it's got to be in the soil as to why you want to share stories like this, because we embrace our forces in these two states in this nation.
Yeah, South Carolina and North Carolina are big military states and big, very good places for military members to retire. They're very veteran friendly.
One of the things I'm so proud about with you on this project is the fact that you included the family stories, because my sister is part of this family story, and you know, she has gone into a silent world, and it's like, you know, we need books like The Troubled Ground to help get the families to talk as well.
Yeah, I was kind of afraid it would bring back too many hard memories for some Gold Star families. Mm-hmm. I've had a few Gold Star families have read it and told me that they really enjoyed it and it meant a lot. And then a few have told me they started reading it and it was hard to keep reading it because they kind of knew where it was going. Especially those that, you know, had been on the ramp at Dover with their own loved ones coming home. So it, you know, it's not an easy book. I just had a young man who was a sergeant there with me in Afghanistan, and he said that as he started reading it, he was concerned that it was going to be really hard to read. He had worked with a lot of Italian troops while he was there, and shortly after he came home, 6 of them were killed in a suicide bombing. And he had gotten really close to these Italian troops that he was working alongside, and you know, so he said he was expecting it to be difficult to read, and you know, it probably is
difficult, but filled with truth. Because how many hearts of Americans and people worldwide believe the true story is what we find in the headlines?
Yeah, I mean, part of the book is fiction, but the fictional part of the book doesn't change anything, you know, about the war and the story. It's basically just based on some moms and some Gold Star moms that I interviewed and telling me that they would like to go and see where their son had died, and even though it's almost impossible to do. And so that's kind of the fictional part of the story, is a mom figures out a way to do that. Yeah. And you know, in the book, and it's it's a fictional kind of conclusion, but the mom had some hope that her son had died for something. Yeah. And I think people had that hope. A lot of it was sort of taken away in 2021 when we withdrew the way we did. I think some of that hope was lost, but I've talked to families and they still want to believe that their loved one died for something over there.
Boy, that you are speaking from my mother's tongue, because she lost 2 brothers in the Korean War, and that's the forgotten war, and that's one of the, and that's why this book is so important. Afghanistan cannot be the forgotten war like Korea.
No, I mean, one of the Gold Star moms that I have the most contact with, way back when I first interviewed her in about 2013 or 2014, her son had been killed about 2 years earlier. And she said that her biggest fear was that he would be forgotten, and that his sacrifice would be forgotten. And around here in Columbia, we made sure that has not happened. She, in fact, I'm going to go on a TV show with her in a couple of days. And, you know, I was invited to come on and talk about the book, but I said, could I bring Mrs. Rawl with me? She's a Gold Star mom. And they said, sure. So she's going to go on the show with me to, you know, talk about what it's like to be a Gold Star mom, and that, you know, her pain never goes away. And there's, you know, thousands just like her.
You know, I wish there was some sort of memorial that we could put on I-77 from Charlotte to Columbia and even down into Charleston, because so many men and women have sacrificed their lives from this area of the world that we need something that does symbolize their sacrifice, and not just in a park. It needs to be one of those things that catches your eye off the side of the road.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, I've seen that some places, But you couldn't do just one name. I mean,
right.
And you couldn't do all the names, but yeah, you're right. Something, gold. And I think there's some places that have like Gold Star Highway but maybe if we could make that like, Gold Star Highway, and that it would be, that it would be in honor of all the Gold Star families. It's a good idea. Let's work on that.
Let's do it. We're just right down the highway from each other.
Yeah.
One of the things that I learned from Oliver North, and he looked at me one day and he goes, "You are not a broadcaster unless you share the stories of the men and women that have served this nation." This book is going to help heal people in one of the most creative ways, because you do bring the truth. As well, like you said, it's also a story as well, but it still brings up that little area where someone's going to go, he's talking about me. He's talking about something I experienced.
Yeah, I mean, that's I set out to write the book to try to describe to my family members what I was going through. I mean, that was the early days of the idea for the book. But then I realized, I really needed to talk about what other people, were going through, and especially what it was like to lose a loved one in any war. And so, when I went to Dover, then obviously I had many experience where I saw that firsthand. I mean, I saw families come to Dover, basically on the worst day of their lives, and, see their loved ones' remains returned to the U.S.
And it's that image of Dover put me back into the early part of the 1970s when they were escaping Vietnam. And it was like, oh my God, this is absolutely 100% revisiting history and history repeating itself.
Yeah, I mean, we really, during the heart of Afghanistan and Iraq, we did really take good care of families, and we did take good care of the ones we lost, and that was really important. And that was the whole mission of the mortuary. It wasn't just the mortuary; it was the Mortuary Affairs Operations Center, and it wasn't just receiving the remains and doing autopsies and preparing the remains for burial. It was taking care of the families. It was making sure that their loved one was turned over to them, in a perfect uniform, and that the families were, the loved ones that we lost and the families were honored and taken care of. I mean, that's why we built this really wonderful Fisher House on Dover for families to stay in when they came to Dover. And then we built this really center for the families to go wait in, so they didn't have to wait around a hotel room or in a airport lounge or something. We really built really nice facilities to try to help the families be as comfortable as possible.
Where was that on the front page of the newspaper? Because those are the kind of stories that we need to hear. We need to have hope. We need to have faith. We need to have the strength of a united nation.
Yeah, well, the Fisher House was after I left, but when we built this, I think we called it the Center for Families of the Fallen. Dr. Jill Biden, who was then the wife of the vice president, she came there, so there probably was some coverage. I don't remember the media coverage, but there probably was some coverage on that because Dr. Biden was actually there.
Nice.
For that, and we got to meet her and talk to her, and she came to help dedicate that facility when I was at Dover back in that would have been something like early 2010, maybe.
Wow. 10 minutes with you is not enough, dude. Where can people go to find out more about you, what you're building, what you're growing, and how we can help heal this nation? The book is at my website, lescarroll.com, just like my name. But if you can see my documentary, Bringing the Fallen Home. If you just type in Bringing the Fallen Home, it'll pop up on a video distribution site where people can watch it, I think, for free. Wow.
Pretty sure it's free. So people can watch Bringing the Fallen Home. And that's a documentary we did about 8 or 10 years ago.
Wow. You being down there in Columbia, did you ever come up here to Charlotte with the USO during the holidays?
Oh, yeah. I've come to Charlotte a lot. Come to some games, come to the airport.
Well, we got to get together and do a face-to-face then, where we can have more than just 10 minutes, sir.
Did 2 nights with Garth Brooks last year.
Yes. What a...
I did. Oh. We went both nights.
Lots of memories here in the Carolinas, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure.
I'm going to reach out to you because I want to talk to you face to face the next time you come to Charlotte.
Okay, sure.
All right. Will you be brilliant today, okay, sir?
Do you have my contact information, or you get it from them?
I'll find
certainly,
it. I'm a broadcaster. Yeah. I'll find it.
Well, they should have it there. The iHeartRadio people should have my number and email address.
Beautiful. That's exactly what I'll do. I'll reach out to Kevin, Jimmy, Bobby, whoever got us on here.
Okay.
Fred.
Fred, you have a great day today, okay, sir? And thank you for what you did for this nation.
Thank you. Bill, Bill, if you want to pass on my contact information to him, that's fine.
Bill?
Who's Bill?
Oh, sorry.
I'll send it over to Jack. Don't worry, Les.
And there's somebody named Bill on this thing.
Have fun, you guys.
Oh, boy.